What is it about comics that are so awesome? I guess for people like me, looking at pictures was far more entertaining than reading pages and pages of text. Now, when everyone thinks of comic books, they probably think of Marvel or DC comics, which is fair enough. But for me, nothing beats the Adventures of Tintin series. I had them all and loved them as a kid. Each story is as entertaining as the last, and the panels have amazing attention to detail. Saying that, the series did have its share of racial blunders, like when it shows Tintin beating up natives in the Congo. Yeah, what a great message for children. Now, speaking of blunders, a bunch of Tintin games were released in the 1990s. Now, these aren't held in high esteem outside of Europe, which makes me wonder why. I mean, the cartoon series was great, and the comic books are just fantastic. And the 2011 film was directed by Steven fucking Spielberg. You know, the same guy that directed E.T., and we all know how good that game was. Our first game is Tintin on the Moon, released in 1989. This was originally developed for the Commodore 64 and the ZX Spectrum, but was ported to MS-DOS. I've downloaded a ROM from the internet, so I don't know how good it is, but let's give it a go. So you're just flying around in the rocket and, I don't know, I think you're supposed to collect these squares and circles while avoiding the asteroids. What are they anyway, drugs? Is this really a drug trip we're on right now? Also, since when does a rocket move this fast? Maybe the ROM has accelerated speed or something, but I don't fucking know. Alright, cool, I beat it. Now you're actually in the rocket. Ugh. This speed is ridiculous. Also, one thing I really hate is that you can't tell what objects are and what the background is. Who was the genius who finalised this sickening combination of pink and cyan anyway? So I'm just running around different rooms aimlessly while this guy shoots me. There are symbols on the side, but I have no idea what they mean. And also my score is slowly draining. Once it reaches 0, it's game over, by the way. From what I can piece together, the objective is to run around and rescue Captain Haddock and Professor Calculus. You're also meant to grab the fire extinguisher and douse any flames you come across. The symbols on the side warn you of these things. The longer you leave them unchecked, the faster your score will fall. The guy shoots you, and he also plants bombs that you have to defuse. Sounds pretty easy, right? Well, not really. I can't fucking beat this stage. Everything happens too fast, and half the time the fire extinguisher doesn't even appear. Or it's too well camouflaged into the background that I can't fucking see it. Okay, looks like I'm done with this game. The following decade, Infogrames released 2 other Tintin titles in the series, Tintin in Tibet and Prisoners of the Sun. Both are for Super Nintendo and Game Boy, but Tintin in Tibet was also released on the Sega Mega Drive, and that's what we're playing it on right now. Shit. Okay, this is the first level, China, and all I'm doing is just running. Like seriously, I don't think I can jump at all. I'm pressing every button and button combination possible, but all I can do is go into a crouch position and sprint towards the foreground. It's weird. The ABC buttons seem useless. What? That didn't even hit me. Are the hitboxes that stingy that the tiniest cloud of steam hurts me? Okay, yeah, they are. Also, how do I avoid it if I can't jump over it? I can pick stuff up, but that doesn't help me out here. Here we go. I can talk to this guy. Ugh, you can't skip any of this. You have to wait for the conversation to finish. Oh, come on. Wait, what? Does my time continue to tick through the dialogue? I can't even skip it! I can't- oh, bullshit! So, after reading the manual, I found out you can jump, sprint, and even throw objects. But my controller, as it turns out, is stiff as dicks. And I'm serious right now, you really need to push the buttons down to have it register. So, honest mistake, but 10 minutes in and I'm already hating the game. Jumping is useless. Look at this, you can't even jump over kids without being hit. It's easier running to the foreground. Yeah, both seem like practical options you'd use in real life. Like if you saw someone running towards you, you wouldn't just step out of their way. You'd step 20 to 30 meters out of their way. And if that fails, you just leapfrog over them. Why is Tintin such a bitch anyway? They're children. You could realistically just deck them if you wanted to. Alright, back here again. Now we're making progress. Oh, God damn it, I fell off. Wait, can I not get back in that again? Do I seriously only have one try for this? Alright, waste a life and try again. Oh, fuck off! That's the furthest I could have jumped from. Are you supposed to miss that jump, or is there something else I'm missing? Oh, you gotta be shitting me. How is anyone supposed to know to jump there? It doesn't distinguish itself at all from the rest of the rock face. Alright, but anyway, I'm on the train. Alright, a 1-up, and what? 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 How did I fall off? There is a single track, for Christ's sake. Ugh, fuck. God, where do I go? Shit. I've spent almost an hour and a half on this first section, only to find that it's completely for show. You're really supposed to go past the train and throw one of the boxes in between these broken tracks here, and then jump across it. But how the fuck was I supposed to know to do something that elaborate on the first level of the game? When I came to this section, I just assumed that it was the edge of the map, and you couldn't go any further. So anyway, you make your way down the cliff and jump in the river. I think Tintin will need a few tetanus shots after swimming with all this shit. And after you beat that, you're onto the second level. What? So that was a flashback. Then why is my health the same? Let alone my lives. That was a different time period. Why is it carried over? That makes no fucking sense. First the train track and now this shit. Is logic just non-existent in this game? Well, at least you can give BJs, that's always good, I guess. Now, for a level set inside a luxury hotel, they really didn't want to make this easy for you. Everything's out to kill you. Suitcases, vacuum cleaners, chambermaids, and puppy dogs. What's this game about again? Rescuing your friend from the abominable snowman? Yeah, well maybe Tintin should first try combating his phobia of the King Charles Cavalier perhaps. Also, why is Tintin running inside? If I owned a hotel and saw some lunatic running up and down the hallway, jumping over dogs and running into people, I'd kick the fucker out and leave him for the wolves. So, my objective is to find the reception desk, because that's how exciting they can make a level set inside a hotel. But I can't find it. I've searched every section of the hotel. What? What the fuck? I literally did a lap of the hotel's ground floor, and the reception desk just decides to show up out of nowhere. Now this honestly seems to be a common theme for the rest of the game. There's never a moment where you know where you're going or how you're getting there, rather it's achieved entirely through trial and error. And there are only 3 save points throughout the entire game that are accessed through the password system: the mountains, the wreckage, and the snowstorm. If you die after any of these, you have to go back to the last one. Sound convenient? Yeah, maybe, but after numerous times of coming so close to the next checkpoint and losing in the most ridiculous way possible, well, it breaks your goddamn spirit. What is this? Take a break? Did they... I'm actually shocked they had the ego to include this. I mean, they actually thought kids would sit through a fuckfest like I just have to the point where this screen comes up. I'm not joking, I've been playing this game for hours. But you know what? They're right. I will take a break. A permanent break. Fuck this game. Now let's give the game on Super Nintendo a go. I always did like the controller better after all. Well, it's pretty much the same game. What else can I say? The first level is easier though, thank Christ. You're in a museum, just running around looking like a massive tool. This time your worst enemy is the mailman. Yeah, the mailman. Why is he hurting me anyway? What did I do to him? Gosh, for a level set in a museum, they're really trying to make the music sound as epic as possible. Let's just say it's not level 1 worthy, if you know what I mean. Rather, it belongs in the final boss battle. But it's very catchy, so well done. Ugh, I hate this next part. You're trying to reach the gunman shooting at you, right? And you control both Tintin, who runs forward, and Captain Haddock, who provides covering fire. It's the most tedious thing ever. Wouldn't it be better if Captain Haddock moved up automatically, or Tintin had his own gun? I'm not really seeing the logic behind this gameplay mechanic unless it's a 2-player game, especially when the screen won't let me move up. Okay, I'm at the door. Now what? What do I do? Is he just gonna keep shooting at me? I can't stand up because I get hit. I'm literally pressing every button, but nothing's happening. Man, bugger this. He can stay in there if he wants to. I'm out of here. God damn it, I died by stepping on a fucking stick. Are you serious? Now, turns out you're supposed to grab this tree branch here. Yes, I know. How did I miss that? It was so obvious that I was meant to use it, especially considering it's right next to a tree branch that kills me if I step on it. Man, fuck this. Games like this are before my time, so naturally my patience with them is very thin, but these games in particular make me happy that I was born in the next generation of consoles. So, I'm done with these games. All that's left is a bad taste of Tintin in my mouth. Can we wash it out with a PS1, or will it be the same shit? Let's find out. Up next is Tintin Destination Adventure, or objectif adventure. Yeah, I've got a French version of the game, because apparently the English ones are very rare to find, which is just a testament to how popular Tintin was in mainland Europe. It should also be noted that this is the first 3D Tintin title, and it was released pretty much at the end of the PS1's lifespan in 2001. Must be pretty good, right? Well, compared to the shit I just played, it wouldn't be that difficult. So, let's give it a go. Damn, they weren't lying when they said 3D graphics. For the PlayStation 1, this is pretty impressive. It's based around multiple Tintin adventures, as opposed to the other games, which only took place in one. There's the Black Island, Red Rackham's Treasure, Land of Black Gold, Explorers on the Moon, and Flight 714, all of which you journey through as Tintin. Each level is divided among a platforming stage, a driving stage, and a boss battle. A good mixture. There's also a bonus game with Snowy, where you have to collect as many bones as you can before the time runs out. The platforming stages are played in 2.5D, and by that, I mean everything is rendered in 3D, but is viewed from a 2D perspective. Another example of a game like this on the PS1 is Pandemonium. This game is really awesome. It's got the whole package, good gameplay, decent graphics, and fluent controls. It's certainly a refreshing change. Ugh. But once again, they ran out of ideas when it came to the enemies. In the comics, Tintin gets in fights with all kinds of bad guys. He shoots guns, punches people in the face, headbutts them. So why is it that these games insist on having mailmen, birds, mountain goats, Komodo dragons, fucking tree branches, and garden rakes as the enemies? I mean, who are they trying to kid here? Now, there are bad guys every once in a while, but even then you don't get into fights with them. You just throw bottles of chloroform at them. And even then that doesn't do much. Also, another thing I find annoying is that you have the option of taking alternative paths in the platforming stages. Now, this is fine, but you need to collect a certain amount of coins to advance to the next level, but you never know which path leads to the end of the game. So, say you may only have like 10 left or something, but you suddenly reach the end of the map and you have to do it all over again. No warning whatsoever. But at least replaying the game isn't like pulling teeth, it's actually pretty fun. God, how big are these trees? Are these Californian redwoods or just regular oak trees? And why are they just flat at the top? I guess they couldn't coat in leaves or branches. Ugh, and look at that, I just fell to my death. You can tell they really put everything into these 3D levels, especially when your PlayStation starts sounding like an industrial turbine. I'm serious. As soon as you switch to one of these levels, your PlayStation sounds like it's gonna blow up. And just listen to this. Oh yeah, music to my fucking ears. On these driving stages, it's better to switch to analog controls for more fluent gameplay. You're gonna miss heaps of coins if you don't. Is this guy lost or something? I think he missed the memo. This is the wharf, not the high seas. Why is it just going around in a circle? You can also drive the Shark submarine, a plane, and a jeep. And no, you can't run over people. I've tried. The boss battles are all the same. They just stand in the middle, you avoid their attacks, and you throw stuff at them. The last one is a mixture of Indiana Jones, the Temple of Doom, and Benny Hill. It's the most awkward and hilarious thing I've ever seen. Now you're probably wondering why I'm not dying, and I was wondering that as well. Truth is, I set the game into easy, and well, let me tell you, isn't this just the most honest game you've ever played? When you choose easy, you can't die, providing you don't fall off the map. Now I'm pretty sure that's the reason. I haven't looked up any cheat codes or anything, so I am doing this legitimately. And no, I'm not mad. In fact, I'm happy. The other games were unrelenting, so it's nice to finally have something easy to play in contrast. I'm glad they included English voice acting in the French version of the game, but I don't know, it just sounds very unsettling. Take a listen.
Tell me, Tintin, wasn't that the time you discovered the money forgers?
That's right, Captain. They used a generator and floodlights to light a runway.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one. Well, that's pretty much it. I guess to summarise, these games did well in encapsulating the artwork of the Tintin comic books. Everything looks as it should, and it does follow the story pretty well. Now, as you saw, the first few games were nothing to brag home about. In fact, if I had to describe them in 2 words, I'd say tedious and shit. Now, thankfully they seem to have gotten things right with Destination Adventure, which was actually a good title for the PS1, and it was a good leap from the whole 2D to 3D aspect of the series. So, well done. Now, if only there existed a modern Tintin game, fit with 3D graphics and made for the latest generation of consoles. Oh wait, how could I forget? 2011's Secret of the Unicorn by Ubisoft. This looks pretty good, right? I mean, a platformer, follows the movie, has a co-op mode. Well, check back next episode and I'll tell you all about this one. Thanks for watching.